Hi, hello everyone. Hi, dear students. How are you all? I hope you are doing good. So, today we are going to learn the two main types of reactions. Yeah, the two main types of reaction, that is combination reaction and decomposition reaction. So, today I have thought of presenting this topic in a very different manner. So, I'm going to present these two topics with the help of biryani. Did you see this biryani? Wow, it looks so yummy, right? So I'm going to present this topic. We are going to learn about combination reaction and decomposition reaction with the help of this authentic biryani. Is there anyone who don't like biryani here? I hope everyone likes it. Everyone loves it, I can say. So we will quickly take the help of biryani and we will start our topic. So before uh, going into the topic, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, hit a like button, comment, and please recommend it to your peers if you have not still done that. So let's get into the topic. So yummy yummy biryani is here, but how can you learn from this yummy yummy biryani? How? So now let us see. So combination reaction, children, this is the first type of reaction which you'll be witnessing in grade 10 textbook of chemical reactions and equations. So for making this yummy yummy biryani, what do you need? You need spices, right? So if you have gone into your kitchen anytime, you would have seen your mother doing it. She needs spices, she needs rice, she needs salt, and there's so many different things which are added to it. So I just didn't mention it. But at last, what is made? What is made, children? A single substance. What is that single substance? Biryani, right? So yummy biryani is made, right? But how does this explain a combination reaction? So combination reaction is nothing but when you have two or more substances added, but always the resultant is a single product. Okay, so the reactants can be two or more, but always there should be a single product, children. Okay, this is the rule. So if single product is made, that means it is a combination reaction. So let us dive into the topic. So here in our textbook, we have an activity. So this activity states that when we take quicklime, okay, it's nothing but tuna. In Hindi, basic tuna. So if we take quicklime, tuna in water, you will see that the beaker or the test tube, whatever you're taking in, it becomes hot. Okay, and you will quickly see a aqueous solution form. So tuna is nothing but calcium oxide, children, which we also call as quicklime. This is an industrial name actually. So CaO, okay, calcium oxide. So calcium oxide has a pet name called as quicklime. So all of us has a pet name, right? In house, they call you Chinnu or they call you Munna, something like that. And in your school or in your peers, you have a different name. So in the similar manner, calcium oxide is the name given in school. Okay, but at home we call it as quicklime. Okay, so this is a pet name given to it, industrial name we can say. So when quicklime is dissolved in water, children, it quickly turns to slake lime. Okay, so this is a solid which is dissolved in a liquid and an aqueous solution of slake lime is formed. So if you see the composition here of slake lime, it is calcium hydroxide. Okay, calcium hydroxide. So this calcium hydroxide has a pet name which is called as slake lime. So whenever you get this, a single formula, two names or three names, I quickly recommend you to write it in the back of your notebooks where you're making notes, so that in the end of the lesson or in the end of whenever you're doing revisions, it will be quickly visible to you. Okay, so if somebody ask you what is quicklime, so you can just turn your book backside and tell, okay, it is calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is quicklime, whereas calcium hydroxide is slake lime. Okay, so here we can give the definition of combination reaction as when two or more substances react and forms a single product. Okay, so single product is the indication which tells that combination reaction has taken place. So we can write more combination reactions, children, like C plus O2 gives out CO2. Okay, C is a solid. It can be wood burning, children. Wood when burning in presence of a gas oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide, which is again a gas. So this is a combination reaction. And whenever you see a combination reaction, children, there will be evolution of heat. Okay, there will be evolution of heat. So in this activity also, if you read this activity in your textbook, it's activity 1.4. When you touch the beaker is hot. Okay, so you will feel the change in temperature. So this change in temperature tells that this is an exothermic reaction. Okay, so what is the meaning of exothermic reaction? Exo means externally. Okay, externally thermic. Thermic means heat is generated out. Okay, so when exothermic reaction is taking place, there will be a evolution of heat. So reaction with evolution of heat is called as exothermic reaction. So externally the heat will be seen. So you will be finding that beaker is becoming hot or the surrounding is becoming hot, right? So this is all about combination reaction. Combination reaction are always accompanied with heat and they are exothermic reaction. Okay, make a note of it. Next one, the second one is decomposition reaction. So now again I'm taking Biryani's help to help you all out with the explanation. So here, if you can see, children, after you eat biryani, what will happen? Obviously, you can get acidity also if you eat a lot. But yeah, if you eat in a limited amount, what will happen is the nutrients gets broken down. The water which is present, in the biryani can be broken down. You will have vitamins and minerals because there are some vegetables and all added to it. They can be different things, right? Which gets broken down. So if you can see, children, a single biryani which you are eating is getting broken down into nutrients, into water, into vitamins, into minerals, into fat, into carbohydrates, whatnot, right? So how this is the decomposition reaction again? Time to think. So decomposition reaction is when a single reactant, okay, a single reactant. So you can see ABC, a single reactant is breaking down into two or more products. Okay, so if you see anywhere a single reactant, right, breaking down into two or more products, it's always considered as a decomposition reaction. Okay, it decomposes, a single reactant decomposes into two or more products. Easy, right? So if you see a single product, it's a combination reaction. Okay, if you see a single product, it's a combination reaction. If you see a single reactant, it's a decomposition reaction. So now we have many decomposition reactions, many types of decomposition reactions, not many, three types we can say. Okay, so decomposition reactions are three types, children. So I'll quickly write down the names. One is thermal decomposition. One is photolytic decomposition. And the last one is electrolytic decomposition. So it's a 3-mark question asked in the boards. Write the three types of examples of decomposition reaction, or write a decomposition reaction which takes place in presence of heat, which takes place in presence of sunlight, which takes place in presence of electricity. So in that form they can ask questions. So now I will write down what is the meaning of each and every one. So in physics you would have heard this term, right? Thermal. So what is the meaning of thermal, children? Thermal means it is taking place in presence of heat. Okay, so when any single reactant is breaking down into two or more products in presence of heat, okay, if we are heating that reactant, that single reactant, it's a thermal decomposition. Okay, if we are not heating but we are putting it in sunlight, or we are placing it in a place where sunlight is falling, so that is called as decomposition reaction, which is photolytic. If the decomposition reaction is carried out in presence of electricity, okay, if it is carried out in presence of electricity, so instead of heat here, if we give electricity, it is called as electrolytic. So it can be sunlight, it can be heat, or it can be electricity. Okay, so children, if you hear this word photo, whenever this photo word comes, it would be mostly in presence of sunlight. Okay, mostly. Most probably every time when this word photo comes, sunlight will be involved in that reaction. So let us quickly see an activity which is given in the textbook. So here they have asked us to take 2 grams of ferrous sulfate, and they have asked us to heat it. Okay, so we are heating it. You can see a Bunsen burner, and the girl who is doing the reaction, you can see she's just wafting the gas gently towards the nose. She's not, going near to the vapors, but she's just wafting the vapors. That means she's not very close to the vapors, but she's trying to smell the vapor. So while doing this activity in the lab, certain precautions need to be taken. So when you're doing this reaction, children, you'll be having an observation. So what is that observation is, you will be getting the burning sulfur smell. Okay, burning sulfur odor you will be getting. So this burning sulfur odor is nothing but 2 gases are coming out. That means sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So just let me write down otherwise in words. So sulfur dioxide, okay, and sulfur trioxide are coming out along with when you're heating ferrous sulfate. Also, you'll be finding a solid which is left behind. So that is nothing but iron oxide, children. Okay, so if we are writing this equation in the chemical equation, so it is FeSO4. Okay, so in grade 9 you would have learned sulfate means SO4. When you're heating it, what will happen is sulfur dioxide, which is a gas, sulfur trioxide, which is again a gas, and iron oxide. Iron oxide is a solid which is left behind. Okay, and if you want to balance this equation, I think you just have to put a 2 here, 2 Fe, 2 Fe, 2 sulfur, 8 oxygen, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So this is a balanced equation. And this equation is very, very important in exam point of view. And just by looking into ferrous sulfate, one cannot guess that these many things are coming out. So we need to be a little thorough with the equation. We need to practice the equation, in other words. Okay, so certainly we have different types of reactions given in our textbook. We also have lead nitrate, children. Lead nitrate. Lead nitrate, if you heat, you will be getting 3 products again. Okay, so you will be getting lead oxide, you will be getting NO2 gas, and you'll be getting O2 gas. Okay, so NO2 gas is a reddish brown gas. Okay, this is a colored gas. So whenever any colored gases are coming out, children, just make a box like this and try to, put reddish brown color on this, so that when you're referring to the notes, you'll get an idea. Okay, this is a colored gas which is coming out. So this is again a solid, this is a gas, and this is oxygen, which we know is not a colored gas. Okay, it's a colorless gas, in other words. So this is all about the thermal decomposition. So thermal decomposition is a decomposition reaction which takes place in presence of heat. So now if we want to balance this is 2 and 2 and 4 here, I think. Yeah, it's balanced now. So if the decomposition reaction, if the single reactant is breaking down in presence of heat, it is thermal decomposition. Now let us see what is photolytic decomposition. Photolytic decomposition is a decomposition reaction. For example, a single reactant AB is breaking down to A and B in presence of sunlight, right? So here, if we take the example of FeSO4, Oh, sorry, not FeSO4. If we take the example of silver chloride, AgCl, okay, or if we take the example of silver bromide, AgBr. So these are the one used in black and white photography actually. And if you can see the textbook, in textbook you will be finding a ball is taken, okay, in which AgCl will be taken, okay, and there will be sunlight falling on it. Okay, so this image is there in the textbook, and there's a color change. So I want you all to see the color change. What is the color change of AgCl to Ag, and comment it in the box. Okay, comment box. So I would like you to check the color and get back. So here AgCl is turning to Ag and Cl2. Okay, similarly here AgBr is turning to Ag and Br2. Okay, so this reaction we use it actually in the black and white photography, children. Black and white photography. Once upon a time when photography used to be, not very famous, they used to wash this photographs in one liquid, and they used to put it in a dark room where lots of lights were there. So actually in that process AgCl or AgBr need to be used. So if we are balancing it, it's 2 AgCl and 2 AgBr, 2 Ag, 2 Ag. So if you are not sure with balancing, please go to my previous videos where you can check with the balancing equations. And the last one is electrolytic decomposition reactions, children. Electrolytic decomposition reactions is carried out in presence of electricity. So if you take AB and you are decomposing it to A and B in presence of electricity, it is electrolytic decomposition reaction. And our textbook only has recommended one example, that is water decomposition, children. Okay, so if you take water and if you provide electricity to it, it is giving out H2 and O2. So here if you take a liquid water, it gives out gases in the cathode and anode. It's electrolytic. So yeah, so electrolytic means you will take a beaker and you'll put some water, and then you'll take two electrodes. So cathode is connected to the negative part of the terminal and anode is connected to the positive part of the terminal. So this you will be learning in later on when metals and non-metals chapter will be coming out. In detailed explanation I'll be giving for this. So here in cathode, hydrogen is evolved, children, and in anode, oxygen is evolved. Okay, so this is how all the reactions takes place. So this is the first two important types of reaction where combination and decomposition you can learn very easily. If you have any doubts, if you're not able to understand anywhere, if you have any suggestions, please do recommend me in the comment box. I'll surely try to put some changes and get on with some new ideas. So thank you for watching my video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.